Very last question I was asked. A guy said, why do you like dealing with younger guys? And I explained to him, and I'm not trying to be funny, right?
Can't be popping the shit. Never lies on spit, never lies on spit. Always keeping it 100 on this podcast and shit. King of the generation, having necessary conversations. He give the information.
What's going on, YouTube? You know what I'm saying? So we back with another one. And listen, man, y'all can see from the intro, from the thumbnail, what we're talking about. We're talking about cougars, and I have extensive knowledge on this, and I care about my content so much. I already did this video. Nothing was wrong with it. I actually hit a lot of good talking points, but it wasn't up to the standard that I feel like I wanted to get my point across and, you know what I'm saying, really convey and take home and drive home what I'm trying to say. So when it comes to cougars, right, or whatever, you know, some fellas, some young fellas, they got a lot of motion. Some of them don't got no motion. The ones with the motion, you know what I'm saying, they got a little bit more leeway. And it's levels to cougars. It's levels. You know what I'm saying? You got the older woman that's foreign, straight foreign, and you know, she's even willing to help you out and stuff like that, but she's getting along in age. You know what I'm saying? So then you got the ones that ain't that foreign, or whatever the case may be, and they will, you know, like, they'll help you out and stuff like that. But what I'm trying to help the young gentleman, you know what I'm saying, I'm putting a twist on it, young gentlemen, you know what I'm saying, is I ain't really talking to no young niggas. I'm talking to young gentlemen, YGs. Right? The thing about it is, you got to understand what messing with these older women is really doing for you. They really offer no value. You really was just basically just a second choice. You wasn't their first choice, because their first choice, unfortunately, is a man their age. And although you may have a little motion, or you may be attractive, or you may be putting their head through the frame, it's still a waste of your time, because you got other things to worry about, whatever, and they'll try to make it seem like they're the prize, but you're really just a showpiece to show that they're still got it. So if you ever seen something like Stella got her groove back, you get what I'm saying? You get where I'm going with this? You know what I'm saying? And some of y'all, if it's a younger crowd, y'all may not know what that is. But basically, Stella was played by Angela Bassett, which I'm pretty sure still look good to this day, or whatever. And she found Tay Diggs, like an island boy, or whatever the case may be, start pursuing, or whatever. And of course, there was cheer roaring. This is the third. And we already know if it was in reverse, it will be shunned on, because men shouldn't date. Y'all know all that, you know what I'm saying? But that's not why we're here. We're here for my YGs to tell them why it's really a waste of time, and why you actually shouldn't deal with. I don't even think you should even be pushing them to the mattress. That's just my opinion. But I'm going to show the level of the cougar, or whatever the case may be. And in one of the clips, I caught her saying exactly what I'm saying. The man that she wants, she could not obtain. But let's get into it. And I want you to listen to this. I want you to listen to the first one, or whatever the case may be. And I want us to also say what level I think she's on, or whatever. But you'll hear her say, she won't say she really just, you know what I'm saying, got words solid. But she's also going to give up a point too, that I'm going, you know what I'm saying, going on. But without further ado, let's get into the clip.
Questions, comments, and concerns, you know, y'all send in my DM. Very last question I was asked. A guy said, why do you like dealing with younger guys? And I explained to him, and I'm not trying to be funny, right?
That big old ass.
I explained to him, younger guys are like sponges. They coachable, they teachable, they don't feel like they know it all, right? I was just dating a 31-year-old, right? And like, it just was like the little things. before we started, actually went on a physical date, I was explaining to him, like, and I'm not saying he had this issue, because he didn't have this issue, but I was applauding him, like, hey, I like the fact I didn't smell you when I was next to you. He was just like, no, yeah, I don't play about my hygiene. I said, because I don't either, right? And I explained to him, like, I'm a kisser. I love to kiss all day long. So I brush my teeth a million times a day because I'm just affectionate like that, right? And I was explaining to him how sometimes men don't have their hair done. They don't have their hair cut. Either way, long story short, the very first day we went on, why this man come through clean, honey? Not like clothes or nothing like that. That was cool, but I'm talking about how his hair was done. And then, like, from the moment we got together, every time we ate, we both brushed our teeth, because he was serious about being, making me comfortable while we was around each other. And of course, everybody knows after you eat, there's bacteria that grows, in your mouth, so it can kind of throw you off. And one thing about me, I'm a kisser. I do not play. If I'm dealing with you, we gonna kiss from the time we see each other to the time we leave each other. That's just how I am. It was another guy I dated. He was 26, right? Now I had told him we had an argument about a haircut. And I was just like, hey, when I met you, you was always slick. I'm talking about low cut Caesar with the deep waves. Now it's like you kind of got me, you comfortable. I will stop talking to you. Matter of fact, I did stop talking to him for a while, and he was like, what's this attitude? So he was like, what's the problem? Why are you acting all distance and this and that? I said, because I explained to you that how I feel about why I gotta look at you and you looking like a werewolf, whatever those is. Why is it just, no, that's not fair to me. Pick who y'all look, date who match y'all. Because I know for sure a lot of men ain't finna sleep with no girl or her vagina stink. Well, damn, I can't say that because they do. But I'm just saying, like, what a real guy, if somebody, they vagina stinking, they not gonna never sleep with that person again. So why us as women have to deal with that? You know what I'm saying? And it has been several times I have to tell a man about keeping his hair done, his haircut, brushing his teeth. Like, gee, this is basic hygiene, really. And I'm going to tell you, it will be one thing if I was that type of person. Baby, I keep myself up to par every time. You're not going to smell me down there. And if you smell me here, let me know and I will brush my teeth. But I keep a toothbrush because I got braces and I know that's heavy bacteria. Sometimes I even got to get on antibiotics because braces is like a different type of bacteria in your mouth. And I know this. So it don't take for somebody else to tell me. Either way. That's why I rather date younger guys than to date a man my age. I do not like dating people my age because they just act like they know it all. I had a guy tell me, I was telling him about, his breath or whatever. He was just like, well, you worried about the wrong stuff. And I had even told him about getting his hair cut. He told me, well, this was an older guy. He was just like, well, shoot, it ain't like I ain't got the money. I'm just grinding. I'm this and that. I said, well, don't think you finna come and chill with me in your grinding mode. Go grind, and when you're done grinding, then you can come sit in my face. Because when I met you, once again, this was a different guy. You were all together. What's going on? No. That's why, no, I do not like dating people my age because y'all don't listen. I'm tired of it. I'm not repeating myself.
I wanted to touch on some stuff before we get into the next clip. So that will be a level from, we're gonna say from 1 to 5. She will be like a level, in my opinion. She will be a level 4 cougar, which means she got the aesthetic or whatever. Not the aesthetic that I like personally, or whatever the case would be, because I don't really like BBLs. Yeah, I mean, I'll take a female with a big natural ass. I'm cool with that. But I'm not cool with the BBL. But like I said, she got the aesthetic or whatever, former nightlife ballerina. Now, she said a few things there. One of the things is she rather deal with a younger guy because they're quote unquote coachable. First of all, you ain't supposed to be coaching no man in the first place. Second of all, when she talked about the older gentleman or whatever, oh, I'm in grind mode. You know what I'm saying? If she liked him, that wouldn't be an issue. But because she actually have options, especially younger guys that she can coach, which is honestly more verbiage for manipulate. That's really what that is. You know what I'm saying? First of all, you shouldn't have to tell nobody that you're dealing with. That's just the caliber of dude that's willing to deal with you. Now, as far as him not brushing his teeth, like I said, that's a hygiene problem on him. But all the old heads I know, including myself, you know what I'm saying, I'm definitely a onk, including myself, I love to smell good, brush my teeth, make sure I take care of my oral health. Just hygiene, just period, is big for me, or whatever the case may be. I can't wake up, no matter from a nap or whatever's going on, and not do like a full facial routine or a full, you know what I'm saying, brush my teeth. Like, I can't do that. Now, for some of these young cats or whatever the case may be, they had unks like me, or dads like, you know what I'm saying, or a father like me that stuck his foot in ass, and, you know what I'm saying, make sure that they, you know what I'm saying, clean themselves properly, and, you know what I'm saying, hygiene was up to par. Of course, no woman wants to be around no musty, dirty, stinking man. Now, as far as the wolf thing, this, that, and the third, I am one of them type people that likes having my hair done all the time, this, that, and the third. Like, that doesn't change. Like, my appearance, your appearance is your appearance. But based off what you said, it's the guys that she's attracting. She rather deal with a younger guy because they're easier to manipulate. Just like she said, she wants you to look good all the time. He can't do clean, this, that, third. I touched on this in the intro. You are a showpiece. You are a showpiece to show that she still got it, to show that she still got motion. A guy that she wants, that's her age, that's the caliber of man that she wants, don't want her. They don't want this woman with this big old ass, former nightlife ballerina, or whatever the case may be, and in some functions, honestly immature or whatever. We're not talking about the hygiene thing. I'm not saying, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying immature to the fact she wants to, like, all this cosmetic surgery or whatever the case may be, which she may have got when she was a nightlife ballerina. But this is, y'all, if y'all don't know who this is, this woman, and there's nothing wrong with it, and I'm not shaming the job she has now, but literally, you know what I'm saying, she works at McDonald's. So, like, point that I'm making is she will be a higher tier cougar, right? Because of the aesthetic, because of the BBLs. But as far as what I know, the BBL literally, you know what I'm saying, is for broke niggas and fake rappers. Like, she got the whole kit, this, that, and the third. It's just sad. But I want to show you this other clip that hit on exactly what I was talking about. Also, she's going to say it like literally, like right out her mouth, like legit right out her mouth. Y'all gonna be like, damn, ain't know some shit, man. I used to deal with cougars. Like, I love me a cougar, but it's a certain type of cougar that I love. You get what I'm saying? I ain't into all the ones that want to still be young and shit like that. And a lot of them still be like super duper immature, if I'm being honest, for what I notice.
See, the older I get, the more I understand how women, when I was growing up, we would hear about cougars, right? All right, we going there. You would hear about cougars. And you'd be like, I'll be transparent and say, like, that's like, why don't you just, like, you know, date an older guy? Like, why don't you have to date younger? I would never be a cougar. Baby, all I have to do is get older in age. All I have to do is just get older in age and understand and experience these young men who are coming around and being intentional and trying to chat it up. They know you're older, and they're still like, yeah, that one. It's like, I don't care. You look good. See, I get it now, because then the attention that you want from the man your age, like, it's barely there.
Wait a minute. Wait, first of all, you're not gonna speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
So
Bingo. The attention from the man your age, aka the man that you actually want, is not there. The caliber of man that they want is just, they don't want them. They don't want them. So dealing with a young gentleman is the best that they can really do. Now, like I said, the first one, like a level 4, but she can't offer you nothing. When you supposed to be really on your purpose, you weren't about staying up to par, opposed to following your purpose, staying up to par so you could keep getting that old cat that done been to the ringer or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Can't bear no legacy, can't bear your kids, can't do nothing for you except basically waste your time or whatever the case may be. Now, if you're not looking for them things or whatever the case may be, I guess it's cool. But at a certain age, you're supposed to be, especially as a man, you know what I'm saying, we gotta, you know what I'm saying, we get better with age. You know what I'm saying? Her time is running out. They deal with you because you are the next best thing, and it's to show that they still got it, that they still got their groove. This, day, and the third is really just a waste of your time. Fellas, do better. Young gentlemen, do better. I don't even think you should be cracking them. You ain't really got time for that, or whatever the case would be. Just think about it in the aspect of, just like she said, I get it now. You know what I'm saying? They're like, you still look good. Exactly. But that's all they be having to offer. Unless you get you a real, like I said, unless you looking for certain things, like you can't have kids, you're not trying to have no kids, you're not trying to legacy, this, that, and the third, and like she's like down for you and y'all like on the same page with that, cool. But also know what that come with, because especially depending on the age gap, I know, you know what I'm saying, that age gap, you're gonna have to take care of her ass. And you gonna be salty because you'll be looking at the ones your age and all that other stuff, man. Listen, don't let these cougars fool y'all into thinking that, you know, that you were their first. You wasn't their first option, you're their second option, and the man that they want don't want them. Make sure y'all like the video, hype the video. That is work. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Let me know in the comment section if I'm on or if I'm off and what y'all think.